Different gears though.
Hi, whenever
I
you're
said
ready.
that car box is different than a lot of
Right.
people.
It's alright. So the guy.
I like Ateret.
Guys, we're about to buff. Throw it in.
Alright guys, first of all, it's
I want.
cooler.
I tell you what.
Yeah.
I can. I'm the guy that sweats, and I can
Oh,
feel.
yeah.
I'm
That's
fine.
it.
And I'm wearing a
Harry's
sweater.
rolling.
What?
Mark.
Awesome, yeah.
Guys, first of all, thank you to David Franco and his wife.
Exactly.
Beautiful spread.
Hey,
Everything's amazing.
Yeah, here.
Very nice. The food is all. How's the food? I need it. How's the food?
Delicious.
Very good. Sahuda goods. Represent Sahuda. You're on East. You're on King's Highway and East 70,
The cookie spars?
Shout out to Suga.
And Hazak Baruch to Jackie Mosseri
Yeah.
for donating and sponsoring the night. Right? All the money is going to.
Leva Haron, I think, no?
Baron?
That's what it said in the chat.
Very good. Hazak Baruch to all you guys.
Yeah, we'll get it.
Alright, so we're coming up to Shavuot now. Shavuot's a pretty intense holiday. So we started the class, I think it was before Purim. It was about 8 weeks ago. We started it by Zach's house. And we've been building up every single class and build it up. It's a new topic, it's a new level, new depth. Whether it's Purim, whether it's Pesach, whether it's Chol Moed, whether it's like Romed, we're building this ladder. And the ladder's going up and up and up and up until we get to the holy night of Shavuot. Now, again, also me, we never knew the level of what Shavuot really is. Me, myself included, I never know how deep the night of Shavuot really means, and how much can possibly done on Shavuot. But tonight, hopefully, we'll learn a little bit what Shavuot really is about, the real depths of it, how much of a level we can reach on Shavuot, and how much a level the rabbis will reach on Shavuot. Because whatever we do is just a copy of what they did. We don't know how to act on Shavuot. The practice of staying up all night didn't happen forever. It only started about 500 years ago.
Why did it start?
We're going to learn tonight how it started and why it started and all the reasons why it started. But tonight, we're going to speak about that. And hopefully with that, we can come to Shavuot night and really we'll take advantage of the night. We're not going to waste it and just, let it fall out of our hands. It's really a special night. Think about it. We're going on almost 50 days since Pesach. It's a ladder that we climbed up. Whether or not you counted over or not, we're still on this process of going up. 50 days is a long time of building ourselves. And we said last week was what? Shabbat. We spoke about the class of Derech Eretz. So now we know what Derech Eretz is. Now we can start learning Torah. Like we said, without Derech Eretz, we cannot learn Torah. Now we have Derech Eretz a little bit. We know what we learned about last week, and now we can start learning about what really Torah is. Because we didn't even start learning about Torah. We just learned about Derech Eretz. So yesterday someone put it in the chat, I think it was Daniel Cohen, he wrote in the chat that there's a special prayer of the Shla HaKadosh. Shla HaKadosh is a certain prayer on Erev Rosh Chodesh, Sivan. It's a prayer for the kids, right? So someone said it's a prayer for the kids to be on a certain derech, and it's a prayer for the kids to live a certain way, and someone asked if it's also for singles. So the answer is it's really a prayer for us as well. When you pray, you pray for yourself as well. And what's the prayer about? It's about having love for Torah. That's really the target of the prayer. To have a love for Torah. If you don't have a love for Torah, then forget about everything else. Forget about mitzvot, forget about Shabbat. All that's going to fall apart. Love for Torah. If you have a love for something, then everything else comes included. For instance, when you love a wife, when you love your wife, so it's pashut to say that you buy her presents and you buy her gifts and you can take care of her and treat her nicely. Why? Because you love her. If you don't love her, then all the other things become hard. So the purpose of that prayer is to pray for our kids, pray for ourselves that we should have the love for Torah. That's the most important thing, is love for Torah. So now we're going to explain about that. How many kids these days are out? How many kids our age? Maybe each one of us knows one person or two people that are totally gone, totally out. I'm talking about way out. I'm talking about dating a non-Jewish girl, I'm talking about problems with drugs, problems with alcohol, real problems. And that's a problem. And that's why we pray. We shed a tear for our kids or for our wife or for us, that we should open our hearts. It's like a hard-boiled egg. When you have an egg, when it's regular fresh egg, you can't pull the layers back. It's impossible. But when you warm it up, then you can start pulling it off, and you can start getting to the yolk, to the middle of it. Same things with the heart. A lot of people, when we grew up in our teenage lives, our heart becomes like a rock. It's so hard to peel it. But when you warm it up with Torah, you warm it up, eventually you start peeling it away. That's what happens with these classes. These classes we don't know about. If we look at ourselves of 2 months ago and today, I think it's a big difference. Am I right? A lot of guys have a big difference in their lives. a little bit, even if that one layer was peeled apart. Saying Tehillim every day, you peel no layer, no layer, no layer. It changes something. So it's definitely doing something. Keep it up, Mark. Keep it up.
Everybody.
Mark and all the captains that you designate.
Oh, he's such a legend.
The problem really is that
The reason why Mark does this is because he's invested in the Tehillim app. He gets 50 cents on every time.
You get it, Will. Yeah,
why not? He deserves it. He deserves it. The problem is, the dilemma that we have is that we can't feel it. We can't get to that level of ahava. We can't get to that feeling. You know why? Because we look at the Torah as a book. We look at it as a subject. Like in high school, it's part of science, it's part of math, it's part of English. Then you have Gemara. It's another part of the courses, right? It's another part of the curriculum. We don't look at it as a typical thing. We look at it as a core subject. You have Gemara, you have Chumash, you have Navi. You know, it's one of the courses. So we don't get that feeling of what it really is. The thing is, Franco, are you good? The thing is that the Torah, the books that we speak about, are not just inanimate things. Like we spoke a few weeks ago. We have the 4 levels. We have Domem, Someach, Chai, David. We have Domem, inanimate. We have Someach, that's living. We have Chai, which is we have Domem, which is inanimate. We have Someach, which is growing. We have Chai, which is living. We have David, which is speaking. Those are the 4 levels of living, right? Of kingdoms. We said that Domem is inanimate, things that don't move, like a stender, a chair, a table, and normally a book. Normally a book. But these books are not inanimate, they're not domem, they're not inanimate. They're the highest level of medaber. They speak. These books speak. Torah speaks. Things we don't hear it. We don't listen to it maybe, but it speaks. The Torah is alive. That's why when we learn Gemara, we don't say the Gemara said. What do we say? Gemara says. Rabbi says. Says Abaya. Says Abi Yochanan. Why says? Because they're speaking at this moment. The Torah is alive. When we realize that the Torah is alive, then we stop looking at it as an inanimate object. It's a living thing. This book lives to me. It lives to everybody that learns it. And when you learn Torah, you become alive yourself. So when you don't learn Torah, unfortunately, a lot of people become like a fish out of water. They just become dry. They just flop around. They just jump around, look for things to do, but they're really dead inside because they're missing something. This is life, and this book comes alive. We're going to start with this book. Anyone knows what this book is? Anyone see this book ever? I only saw this book a couple years ago. But this book is called Magid Misharim. This book itself is alive. And I'll tell you why it's alive.
You're an angel.
Right. So the question is why on Shavuot night do we stay up all night? Right? Like Musa said. Where does it come from? So about 500 years ago, there was a rabbi named Rabbi Yosef Cairo. He wrote the whole Shulchan Aruch. All the halachot we have today from him. Rabbi Yosef Cairo, Manam Bet Yosef. Him and a couple of rabbis, and one of them being Rabbi Shlomo Alkabetz, who wrote the Chalali, were sitting in a room on Shavuot night. And they happened to organize between each other that they're going to learn. It wasn't a part of a Shavuot night. It wasn't like a course or a tikkun. They just had their own learning. And they started learning and learning and learning. And out of the mouth of Rabbi Yosef Cairo came a voice from Bat Kol, from Hashem.
From what?
From like a bat kol, a shechina, like not his voice. From his voice came out different voice, like an angel's voice, from the rabbi. And what was the rabbi? What was this voice saying? Again, now this book is called Magid Misharim. It's a book that Rabbi Yosef Cairo, about the Manam Bet Yosef, he learned Torah with an angel. And how do I know that? Because this whole book is written just a dialogue between him and the angel. If you look in the book, it says Lashon HaMagid, Lashon HaAngel, the language of the angel, and Lashon HaKodesh. They interpret it into a different language. But this is the whole book proving you what the angel says. Everything in here is what the angel tells this rabbi. Imagine there's a book. Everything, all Sodot of the Torah, all Parashas, everything. Imagine a book that an angel tells you, things, secrets. Imagine you had a pamphlet. Amazing, right? Imagine you had a handwritten letter. You have a book. This book is alive. It's an angel wrote a book. And then we have it. Imagine someone, has a book from Benjamin Franklin, or you have a book from George Washington.
Was there any particular angel that's like a relevant one, or just
Certain angel came to him all the time. It came to him all the time. We told him the whole Torah.
no name?
It says Magid. called him. That's it. It's called an angel.
What is it? I want to see the what is the angels'
So you're gonna see.
languages. It's kavanah, no?
He has all these different languages. But I'm gonna explain to you what he said. That night they were learning. A couple of guys. They didn't have minyan. They had only a couple of guys, and it started having a voice. And I'm gonna read you the words of what the book says. It's not my words. It's their words. And it says, "Uba'et she'atchalnu limod ha'mishnah v'lemanu shtei masechtot." We only got 2 masechtot. We only started learning 2 masechtot. Zikinu bor'enu. Hashem gave us a zechut. V'nishma kol ha'medaber. We heard this voice, and all the neighbors heard it. V'lo hayu mevinim. We don't understand what it says, and it was a very pleasant voice. And it started saying, "V'akol holech v'chazek," and it came louder and louder and louder. And it started saying, Shimuna Yedidei, Hamehadrim Hamehadrim, and so on and so on. If you see, it's very long. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it's very long. And it tells them, the Malach saying, Ashrechem, that you guys are learning on this holy night. You have a great Ma'alah that Hashem is so happy now in His kingdom. But Malach tells him, unfortunately, you don't have minyan. If you have minyan, it'd be a higher level.
Does the malach count as towards the minyan?
No, not in this story. He says you don't have malach.
So like if you had 9 plus a malach, would that be
Not these days. Maybe in those days, maybe they did. They did. Yeah, they did. Honestly, it's true.
So it's the malach talking through his body.
Malach's talking through the Shav Yosef Parah.
So
And they wrote it down. They're writing down what happened.
the malach's talking through his body, not as a separate.
No, through the Shav Yosef Parah's body.
So what's his feelings when? What do you think?
It says that he wasn't. That's why he didn't write the story. Rabbi Shlomo
Through
Alkavitz
his body?
Oh,
Just
okay,
a voice
okay.
coming out. Just a voice coming
a
out.
voice came out of his body.
Out of his body?
When you're speaking, all of a sudden you stop speaking, and Allah speaks
Oh,
out of
really?
your
I thought it
voice.
was just
Yes,
a
it
voice.
wasn't
Yeah.
It wasn't that.
Yeah.
It came out of his throat. It says it came out of his
Was he
garon.
expecting it?
Yeah.
No, it was learning, but that's why it says that he didn't write the story. Rabbi Shlomo Alkavitz wrote the story, what happened, because he couldn't write it. He was inanimate. The Malach was speaking, and he's speaking about what happened, and he tells him that you need 10 to make this night much more holier. So what happened? The next night they had 10, and it was the same thing. Bat Kol, and the Malach gave him a speech for an hour, and from that day on he was giving him speeches all day. Every day he would come to him and be glad. But from that
Giving
story,
him speeches from his own body.
no, from that day on, the Malach came to him and was learning with him one-on-one.
Oh,
Chavruta.
outside.
After that.
So it's better on Shavuot to learn with
You see from that, you
minyan?
see from then that what? That on Shavuot night, if you have 10 people learn minyan, and you do the seder that they were doing, Mishnah, Bereshit, Halachot, they have a whole seder do it, Tikkun, it's called Tikkun Leil Shavuot. The books have it, we do in Shul. That seder was done by them. They started it. And then Malach came and told them everything, all the big levels.
And what's
So
that
we
giant
get
book
that
we
from
have to
them. That book is Tikkun. It's a little bit Bereshit, Noach, the whole Torah, and then it goes to the whole Nevi'im, the whole Halachot, everything. It's pretty much the whole
Such a
Torah.
big book.
You read the whole Torah on it.
Yeah.
What's the significance? This might be a dumb question of a minyan.
You have Shekhinah. It says that when there's 2 people there, you have Shekhinah is there. When you have 3 people, then when you have 10, Shekhinah comes into the actual room. Shekhinah is resting within 10.
But why?
It's a different. It's a little 10 forgot. I'm not into that. That's a different
That's
rabbi,
my
different
second
class.
berachot breaks it down.
That's a whole different thing. You asked me why 10. It's why 10 is. It's a different thing.
I think
All
the
right.
first mention of 10 is when Abraham was trying to get Hashem to save the city.
Well, he,
If there's 100 sides,
yeah.
there's 90, and then when it gets to 10, if there's less than 10, no. And that's the first place you really see like this 10
Got it.
of
Right.
being
10 is a specific number. It's there's 10 worlds.
A lot of specific numbers in
Yeah.
this religion. I'm sorry.
Everything is specific. Right.
No.
Oh, when you learn it, you start
A lot
realizing.
of them.
A lot.
7 is nature, 8 is above nature, 9 is something else, 10, 7 is all these things, 6, 3, every number is very big. It's not just there's not just regular numbers. It's a concept. Every number is a
I
concept.
understand.
40, we said 960 is a concept. I mean that.
A lot of concepts.
960. It's all when you learn it, you start
The
seeing it.
religion is put
Based.
together of 10 sefirot. There's Hod, there's Netzach, there's all these
Of
different
10 what? Books or?
sefirot. It's
What's
called.
a sefirot?
It's a very Kabbalistic world that we
10
don't
different things.
understand.
The
But they
Wazir
come
Top.
together.
Let's
Basically
continue.
10 levels.
Yeah, guys, let's continue the class.
Alright.
So we say that the way of feeling Shavuot, right, is doing what we do. That's why we stay up all night. We do this tikkun. We do what they did. We copy what they did. Because if they did, and Malach came and spoke to them, then obviously if we do the same thing, we also reach on a high level as well. But I want to speak about getting the love of Torah. We don't have that same love. I want to give you a story of a rabbi named Rabbi Avraham Morocco. This rabbi was a very, very fair rabbi, a very skinny rabbi. And he lived in Krakow. And
Where's
the
that,
time
Poland?
Poland, in the time of the Holocaust, he lived in a certain city where most people fled. Everyone ran away. They went to Switzerland. They started moving away because they were in a certain area where they can leave before the Holocaust came. And this rabbi was very frail. He was a young rabbi. I mean, in his 30s, 40s, and he was very old-looking, but he wasn't so old. And he decided to stay away. He started to stay in the city with the old people. He said, all these old people and the disabled and the handicapped, they can't leave. So if I leave, there's going to be no rabbi in the community. Who's going to help them out? This rabbi decided to stay with them. He stayed in the city with them, and he knew he probably was going to die. But he decided to stay with them. And he stayed, and sure enough, came a couple of years later down the road, and the Germans came to the town, they came looking for this rabbi. And they're looking, Rebbe, they're looking for the Rebbe. Where is this rabbi? Rabbi Morocco, looking for him. And one of the neighbors said, he's over there. They point to his house. And they go to his house, and it says they grab him by his beard. And they pull his beard out, and they pull his peot out. And he's bleeding from his face. And they see in his house a little small, like a box with a red curtain. And they ask him, what is that? And he says, that's a scroll. It's a Torah scroll. And they said, what is that thing? And he explained to them what that thing was. And after that, they waited for him to finish speaking. When they heard how holy this thing was to him, they said, take it. He took it in his hands. They brought him to the square of the town. Brought all the non-Jews to come see. Let's go see the show, the spiel that we're going to do. Make a big show now. They did this a lot of times. They bring a show in this town square. And they brought this Rabbi Morocco. He's holding a little box, Torah scroll inside. And he hands him a bottle of kerosene. This German guy.
Oh.
He hands him a bottle of kerosene, oil. And he tells him, pour it on the scroll. And the Rabbi Morocco says, no. Chas v'shalom. Not pouring on the scroll. They knock the Torah out of his hands. It's on the floor now. They give him the bottle. Again, pour it on the thing. He says, no. He dives on the floor. By the way, if anyone has a question, I have a book and I have pictures, right?
Yeah.
I have pictures. I have a picture of this story also.
Put it in the chat.
What book is it?
It's a special book that I have. It's about all the Kiddush Hashem that's done in the Holocaust.
Howard's gonna post the link at the bottom of the YouTube channel. Everybody.
This Rabbi Morocco
Crazy book.
dove on the floor, and he's hugging the Sefer Torah. The Nazi pours the kerosene on him and on Torah. Throws a match. In front of the whole town square, this rabbi was on fire, holding a Sefer Torah, and it says at that time he was singing. He was praying to Hashem. That's the same story of Rabbi Akiva 2,000 years ago. This is only 60 years ago. Because they have a love for Torah. If you love it, it's not just a book. It's oxygen.
It's your life.
It's life. It's oxygen. It's not something that you can do without. Dive on it, you kiss it, you hug it. Because you can't go without it. That's only 60 years ago. We don't have that situation. But you know how we change it? We go to shul when Torah comes out, instead of staying in the back corner and throwing a kiss with our hand, right, with the talit or whatever, run to the Torah, give it a kiss.
Greet it.
Hold it. Kiss the Torah. Instead of diving on it and getting kerosene burnt, at least we'll show love out of it, out of freedom. We have an opportunity to kiss the Torah without anyone giving us any problems. Greet it. A lot of people are sitting in the back and they throw a tzitzit and they throw a tissue and they throw this and they're hecking to the guy and they still give him a kiss. Okay, fine, you can kiss it, but feel the love for it. It's alive. This Torah is alive, and when it's alive, then we know how to appreciate it, and that's what they have. And hopefully, if we get to that level, we can appreciate what Torah is also. That's one aspect. Let's continue the class. We spoke about the rabbis, what they did in those days, right? But I want to give a little bit of an introduction of what the Torah really is, how important it really is. And I'm going to Masechet Berachot, right? It says on page Samech Aleph. A very interesting story. What happened was that Rabbi Akiva was learning Torah. We love Rabbi Akiva, right? Rabbi Akiva was learning Torah. And in that time it was a suit to learn Torah. And the Romans said if you learn Torah, you're going to be jailed. Okay?
It's now going back 2,000 years.
Go back.
Yeah.
Right. What happened? There was this guy named Papus ben Yehuda. Papus ben Yehuda sees him. And he tells Rabbi Akiva, what are you doing? You can get killed. How are you learning Torah? You don't care what the Romans say? And Rabbi Akiva told him, without me learning Torah, I'm dead regardless. So I might as well learn Torah, and if I get killed, I get killed. But I'm going to do my job, I'm learning Torah. I can't go without Torah. So what happens? It says a few years later, they catch Rabbi Akiva and they throw him in jail. Right? Interesting enough, who was in jail with him also? Papus ben Yehuda gets thrown in jail as well. Now let's see what happens when they both meet up in jail. Look at the Gemara says. It says here, Lo yu yamim mu'atim ash tafsu Rabbi Akiva v'chabshu b'tafsurim. They caught him and they threw him in jail. V'tafsu Papus ben Yehuda, and they also threw him in jail. Papus ben Yehuda is speaking to Rabbi Akiva now. They're both in jail and he's speaking to him. And he tells Rabbi Akiva, Amalo Papus, Mi hevi'echa lakan. Who brought you here? How'd you get here? And he tells him what happened. He tells him that, I was giving Torah in public and I was punished by the Romans. And look what Papus ben Yehuda says. Look at his words.
Is he a rabbi, this guy, Papus?
Papus ben Yehuda, that's his name. I'll tell you after who he is. Look what Papus ben Yehuda says. Ashrecha Rabbi Akiva, shenitfasta al devei Torah. You're so lucky that you were caught and being punished over devei Torah. Oy the Papus, meaning so pitiful is Papus. Shenitfasta al dverim v'telim. How stupid am I? How pitiful am I that I was caught on devarim v'telim? Devarim v'telim it says here. So you have Torah, which is Ashrecha, you were caught on Torah, and oy the Papus that was caught on devarim v'telim. Ashrecha means blessed are you, Rabbi Akiva. You were caught learning Torah, and oy how pitiful am I that I was caught on dvarim v'telim.
What's devarim?
The question is, what is devarim?
Batala, like something not
Things that are nonsense.
Not holy.
Nonsense.
Nonsense. Like Moishe, whatever stuff.
Like speaking nonsense.
Yeah.
Nonsense. Doesn't even compare.
He got caught going to the test when he wasn't like.
You got caught doing something, whatever.
So like the royalty that you got thrown in on that.
You got
Lucky.
You got lucky that you got punished on learning Torah, and you got punished, and I'm punished on Devarim Betelim. The question is burning. What is Devarim Betelim?
I have another bottle.
What is Devarim Betelim? Russo, you hear the question or no? I heard it. Bless you. You're not hearing the question. What is Devarim Betelim?
What is the gash?
We think that what did he do? He must have threw a paper in the river, or he must have litter in the street, or he must have, robbed from the liquor store. That's probably Devarim B'Talim, right?
Exactly.
You know what Devarim B'Talim is? You gotta hear this. The Gaon of Vilna says, Devarim B'Talim, it's another Masechet. You know what this guy Papus ben Yehuda was? There was a certain generation, a certain time, a couple of years before then, where the king of the city called Tukia, a certain city in maybe Turkey, the king said, I'm killing all the Jews. There was a person that was found dead in the city, a non-Jewish guy found dead in the city, and no one knew who killed him. And the king said, I'm killing the whole Jewish community. All Jews, I'm killing them, everyone, until I find out who killed this person.
What was the story?
A couple of years before this story.
Okay.
Same time period. And no one knew who killed this non-Jewish person. No one knew. And they're going to get killed. All Jews are going to get killed. Papus ben Yehuda and his brother stood up to the king and said, we killed him.
Wow.
Meanwhile, they never killed him. They're ready to be Moser Nefesh for Bnei Yisrael. They're ready to die in Kiddush Hashem.
That's not Gashmiel.
They were ready to kill themselves. They went to the king and said, we did it. The king took him, said, if you did it, I'm killing you. So that they stood him in the street and they bashed their head with a garzem, with an axe. They exploded their heads. Both of them died.
And the guy's still alive?
Papus ben Yehuda, he was in jail at the time. He was in jail at the time, the story.
Which story was first?
This story of Rabbi Akiva takes place while Papus ben Yehuda is in jail. Understand?
Well, you said he got hit with an axe.
Oh, he died after.
Oh, okay.
They're speaking now. They're speaking about how he got caught. I was caught on Dvim B'Telim. Before he was killed, we're asked, the question is, what were they caught for? What was the thing that they were caught about? So the Gemara tells us that they were caught. Why were they caught? Because they were ready to die for the whole nation. Again, this is before he died, but they were ready to die. Now
Why would he say that that's nonsense?
So he's saying that they're ready to die in front of the whole nation, and end up dying later on. But the question is Devarim B'Talim? Oy le Papus? What? You're not a high level? You saved the whole generation. All the Jews are saved. You're now in jail. You have a Kiddush Hashem. You died on Kiddush Hashem. You're being in jail now for saving the whole nation. You call it Devarim B'Talim? And the answer is, compared to learning Torah, it's Devarim B'Talim. As much as I don't understand it, I hated this.
I can't agree with that.
When I learned this, I didn't agree with it either.
It's a rough one.
But according to the Rabbi Akiva, his Torah, why didn't I tell you? You know why? Because when you save somebody, you save him for Lamazeh. You save his soul, you save his body here. But when you teach Torah to somebody, what happens? Not only do you save him from this world, you save him in the next world also. So you save him twice. If you save somebody in this world, you save him once. That's Devarim Betelim. They don't call it nonsense, they call it Devarim Betelim. According to, if you compare it to Rabbi Akiva's Torah, it doesn't come close. He saved the whole. He saved the whole nation, and he's not even close to Rabbi Akiva's Torah. That's to show you how level of a Torah they had, how much of a high level they reached.
And before he confessed to killing, even though he didn't,
Regular person.
he saw Rabbi Akiva on the street, and he
told him, Rabbi Akiva, why are you preaching Torah for? Understand this? It's a very deep story, but just to show you how much
Doesn't
of
make sense.
Why not?
Why would he say?
Abbas ben Yehuda didn't like Rabbi Akiva teaching it. He didn't like it. He didn't agree with it. He said, "Why you did? Why you?"
But he agreed with him giving his life.
You see that when it came to saving a person, he had no problem. I'll save anyone. But to die on learning Torah, that's.
So how come when
That's
he was in
nonsense.
jail, he said that I wish I was you?
He realized at the end that he's going to die for learning Torah, and I'm going to die for saving people. Just to show you on the scale of how it compares. Again, I didn't agree with this. I learned this my whole life. So it doesn't make any sense.
And now you agree with it?
Now I agree with it because I understand the deepness of what Rabbi Akiva's Torah was. How many times we learn about Rabbi Akiva? Rabbi Akiva, it's not just a regular person. The Torah was written with Rabbi Akiva. We learned that last week. That he used to write thousands and thousands of Kiddushim just on the Ta'amim, just on the lines of the Torah. It's not just Rabbi Akiva. Whatever we have today is from Rabbi Akiva.
Household name.
Let's continue. That was just a little bit of a scale comparison. I understand it's tough to understand, but that's what it says. During Matan Torah, during the Har Sinai, during the actual giving of Torah, Bnei Yisrael reached the level of angels, right? They reached the actual level of angels. How is Basuk? It says, "Ani amati bnei Elohim atem ubnei Elohim kulem achen ka'adam temutun." They reached a very high level of Bnei Yom. They reached a level of angels.
Spirituality.
Bnei Yisrael reached regular angels spirituality. How do we see that? A few places. One of the few places that we see is that it says in Pasuk, it says "V'hayuda ot et hakolot." They saw the sounds. Let me ask you a question. How do you see a sound? How does an eye see a sound? If I'm speaking to you, I don't see anything.
Imagination.
But you don't. But if they're saying that they see something, that means they saw something. What do they see? How could your ear see?
It's always a weird one. It's throwing with the kolot, and the mountain was on fire. I think it's the next.
All these
word.
things we're gonna speak about, but they saw sound.
Who's that?
Benny said they saw sounds.
When they were standing around Har Sinai,
They saw the
it's like a
sounds.
very weird pasuk. It's
The
like,
answer
"They
is-
said, "Ro'im et hakolot," and they saw the voices. It's very weird.
Right. So some people say it doesn't make any sense. It's unnature. It's uncharacteristic according to our nature. But we're not according to nature because we're above nature right now. We're Jewish people getting Torah. It's a higher level. And Rabbi Yonatan Ivishit says in his book Yad Devash, he says that whenever we speak, everyone that we speak right now, if we speak, let's say we say Zach. What happens is that when I speak, it writes the word out in the space. When I speak, it writes it in the air. However, we don't see it. We're not able to see what we speak about. Meaning, if I speak to you right now, I say bet. The bet is written, okay, and then it goes into my ear. I only see it, and then it goes to my ear. So first it's speaking, my eyes look at it, and then it goes to my ear. That's what it used to be like.
Sound wave.
But now that we sinned,
You don't know that's what it used to be like.
I have it documented.
back what?
You want to see it?
What, that thing?
Zamir Cohen.
Says it like that?
He's a scientist. And he brings all these crazy things like in Torah, and he actually like brings it down. Like so, he bought one of those machines, and he said Aleph,
You joking?
and all of a sudden it started drawing out an Aleph.
What?
No.
It's
So
so
what machine? What are you talking about? What machine?
After.
I just want to get why you guys.
Oh, keep what? When you have mapach? Alright, anyways, that's the way speech works.
Study this book.
The mapach, yeah.
It's crazy. The show, continue.
So guys, when we speak, you're making the words out, and then it goes to our ears. But then Yisrael reached on a level that they would speak and they would see the letters, right? Sonny, you here? Harry, you here? The
I'm
question
just
is,
thinking, what happens when you say a curse word? That's all I'm thinking of. Like,
The
So,
question.
so if you're whispering,
Is it
if
probably
I'm whispering to
places on your forehead
David,
every time?
lashon hara about you, if back in the day you would be able to see the words
Yeah,
and
but
know what
it's
I'm
the
talking to him
Again,
about.
there's
Right.
on level of Malachim, there wasn't Lashon Hara, there wasn't Lashon Hara. There's only a certain time. It's when Matan Torah was given. At that point, they reached that level that they can see the kolot. And what's the reason for that? What's the reason for that? Let me ask you a question. If I say Lo Tirtzach, Lo Tignov, okay? You don't read, you can't see anything. You just hear.
What if you had
Okay?
your clothes?
Lo Tirtzach, right? You could pronounce it two ways. Lo, if you write it Lamed Vav Aleph, means lo means don't. Or you can say lo, Lamed Vav means
Him.
lo, Tirtzach. So if you don't see the Torah, you might think lo, Tirtzach.
Kill him.
Lo, Tignov. Lo, Tachmod. You kill him. You go
Kill
in
him.
Not you, right? All this thing you said lo. They had to see it. Lamed Vav Aleph. Lo, they saw
Is
it.
there Vav in that?
Lamed Vav Aleph. Whatever. Lamed Aleph, whatever you want to spell it. Lamed Aleph Psik. Lo. Don't steal. Don't kill. How do you know that was written that way? Because they saw it.
Oh,
That's one proof of that.
Was it pretty obvious?
What?
Yeah, it's pretty obvious that you're not supposed to steal.
No, but if
No?
To you today, Mark.
you know today, but we don't know the ways back then.
Back then,
Lord, Hashem
they
was-
were
If you were raised saying it's good to steal, you can steal.
Is
But
it
there was
pretty
metal-
obvious that you're supposed to take an animal, put it on an altar, and
we're talking
slaughter
about the law
it?
part. It's the law part.
Talking
By
about
the way, the
normal
only
things.
reason we even do that is because it's what they were used to doing.
So if Tony said it.
It's because it's what the nations were doing. They wanted to make
Mark,
it
real
easy
time?
for them, so that's why we have
Start
animal
late.
sacrifice.
Sorry. All right, that
What
was.
the nations were doing.
Let's
At
continue,
the
guys.
time, the nations, the way they worshipped idols was by
Think
giving
of it, huh?
sacrifices.
Right.
Think about people that were just in Egypt
You're
for
welcome
several
here
hundred
to-
years. This is what they're
Tomorrow morning,
accustomed
you'll
to.
pray shachrit.
God
Yes.
wanted to make it
We'll do
easy
that
for
exactly.
them.
I don't think so. I think it's
To
because that was
worship
their form of currency.
Currency?
Yeah.
Currency is
You
cattle.
guys-
Yeah, you're right.
That was their form of currency, so that was
Alright.
their way of giving
But
their
he's saying
currency
he's
to
giving it
God.
back to God, but
It's like
he's
giving
saying
tzedakah.
other nations were doing
The
this
603
before.
in
Everybody
It's
was.
possible. Of course
Guys,
they were.
guys,
Anyways,
Everyone was, yes.
So that was
the way people worshiped God.
Zach, you with me?
Giving back to him.
So that's the we just spoke about, right? The level of Har Sinai. There's so much other things. By the way, it says that the shofar holech v'chazek mod. When you blow a shofar, right? The sound gets strong and then it gets weaker, right? But it says in the times of Har Sinai, there was a shofar that blew and gets stronger and stronger and stronger, and the whole world heard it.
You know, there's proof to what you're saying in Masechet Berachot, the 9th Perek, when it says, what is an earthquake?
You dropping lines.
By the way, what you said, I forgot. I wrote that in the class. I skipped it because I didn't have enough time. But I'm gonna
It
say,
says
you
there's
said,
two waves.
what happened? What happened during times of Matan Torah? Hashem
That was
spoke.
Harry's bar mitzvah part.
Hashem spoke. Hashem spoke. You want to hear this one?
No, it's just like, you start an earthquake. I was like, whoa, Harry. Going out there, man.
Hashem started speaking, right? And what happened? When he said, Anochi Hashem Elokecha, the world shook. The world shook. It says the river started going backwards. The river usually goes downstream, it went backstream. How do we know it says that? In Tehillim it says, Malacha Yam Kitanus, Hayadem Tisov La'achor, Heharim Tikedu Ke'elim, Kevaot Kivneson. What does that mean? When you say that, what are you saying? Heharim Rakidu Ke'elim. Mountains were dancing. They were dancing. Heharim Kevaot Kivneson. Mountains became like son. They ran away. Everything shook. When Matan Torah, when Hashem said Anochi Hashem Elokecha, the world shook. He says at that time there was more of a shake than an earthquake. What happened? A bunch of years later on, when David HaMelech came to dig the foundation of Beit HaMikdash, he comes to the foundation, he's digging, says he went 50 amot down, and he found a little piece of clay, a pottery, that was stuck in the ground. He went to pick it up, and the pottery says, "Don't touch me." The Gemara says, not me. I don't have the Gemara here, but it says, don't pick me up. He said, why not? He said, when Matan Torah came, Hashem said, Anochi Hashem, the world shook. I came here, and I'm stuck here from that time. And he said, what happens if I pull you out? He said, the world's going to overflow with water.
The world's gonna
The world's going to overflow with water. It's a little piece of
plug.
of clay. It's like a plug. It's plugged in the area. By the way, the Beit HaMikdash was built in that spot. There's a thing called Even HaShtiyah. But there's water all the time.
The foundation.
Foundation's always there. By the way, when you go down to the earth, you start digging, what do you hit? Water. It's not just me saying it, it's fact. That was there. The Melech didn't pull it out, and that's a proof from what happened during the world. Everything shook.
Yeah, it's the
Everything
when I
shook.
say the dome of the rock.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dome of the rock.
eventually, yeah, that's
Eventually,
the rock.
yeah, that's the thing.
That's the
eventually.
rock.
Okay, that's one thing. Harry mentioned this, I just spoke about it. But I want to continue the class. Sorry guys, everyone's with me?
Yes.
Everyone's like, oh.
Don't cut things out. Don't
No,
worry.
no, no, I don't want to go on time, you know?
Don't worry about it.
Bruce was asking questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't know about it.
At the time of Har Sinai, what happened? Moshe goes up to get the Torah, right? Interesting. Moshe goes up to get the Torah. Torah is not given to us. He went up to get it. It wasn't given to us. He went to get it. And what does the Gemara say? Gemara Masechet Shabbat. It says like this, the story. Amar Rabbi Yehoshua ben Navi. When Moshe went up to Maron, a few times Moshe went up to the sky alive. When he went up to the sky, Amru Malachei Asheret. What's Moshe doing here? What's a person that's Basavadan doing with us? We're all the angels. We're going to burn him. What's he doing over here? So Moshe says, I came to get the Torah. The angels tell him, it's a whole long Siyach, but it says, what do you mean you came to get the Torah? Torah is not for you, it's for the angels.
Wow.
At that time, Moshe Rabbeinu tells Hashem, I came to get the Torah. What am I going to do? So Hashem tells Moshe Rabbeinu, give the angels an answer. Answer them. He says, I'm afraid they're going to burn you. He says, Achoz b'kisei kavod. Hold my chair and give them an answer. It's a deep thing, I don't know what that means, but it says, hold my chair and give them an answer. Now, what does Moshe Rabbeinu tell the angels? He says, you want the Torah? The Torah says, Anochi Hashem asher hotzeti lecha miMitzrayim. Were you Mitzrayim? Kaved bicha v'timecha. You have father and mother?
Can negotiate it.
Lo titzach. You have a possibility to kill? Zachor yom Shabbat. You have Shabbat?
Right.
He gives all the answers. The Malachim said, he's right. At that moment, they agreed to let the Torah go down to Bnei Yisrael. And he gave them Torah. What do you see from there? The Torah really wasn't shaykh to here. The Malachim wanted it above there. They wanted to control the Torah. But it was given down to Moshe Rabbeinu to give it to our rabbis and to our people. You know why they didn't want to give it over? Because the Torah changes nature. They wanted to have the power of nature. They didn't want to give it over to people. We don't deserve to have the power to change nature. But the rabbis...
Define that. What do you mean by that?
Next thing I'm going to show you too. But I'm just going to tell you that. They didn't want to give over the Torah. They said the Torah deserves to be in the Shemayim, with the Malachim. People do not deserve to have the Torah. Why not? Because if you have the Torah, you have powers, you have capability to change nature. And they don't want to give that over. And that brings me to my last Gemara.
What Gemara is this?
A story how to prove that it changed nature.
What Gemara is this?
Masechet Bava Metzia. Let me this for you. You come back very fast.
This guy's holding his chest.
How do I get the napkins?
There's a famous story of a machloket of a tanur, of an oven. Rabbi Eliezer and Rabbi Yehoshua. Famous story. That there's machloket whether the certain oven is kasher or not. Whether this oven is whole, is it tameh or is kasher, right? Tameh or tahor. Big machloket. Big machloket. Imagine Tanaim having machloket. You want to see what they did? This is Tanaim. It's not me and you guys. It's not anyone else. It's Tanaim. Listen to what happens. One rabbi says it's tameh, and one rabbi says it's tahor. The world shakes. Listen to what happens. I'll read a few from the words so you don't think I'm lying. Not anyone here, but I'm just saying it's too crazy of a story to believe it. So the Gemara says it. Rabbi Eliezer on that day answered every single question that they had. Kol Tshuvot Ba'olam, he answered. They asked him every question, he answered. There's two people, Rabbi Eliezer and Rabbi Yehoshua. Machloket. Is the oven tahor or tameh? That's the machloket. Okay? Rabbi Eliezer says, if the halacha is like me, charuv ze yochiach. If the halacha is like me, this tree is going to prove it. What happened? Ne'akar charuv bimkomo me'a ama. Ve'amri le abamot ama. The tree uprooted itself and went and planted itself another me'a ama. It went me'a ama and left. And it's machloket if it was me'a ama or 400 ama. But it moved. The tree moved. What do they say? We don't want a proof from the trees. We don't want a proof from the trees. That's not a proof. Okay, you don't want a proof from the trees? Amalem im halacha kemoti. If the halacha is like me, emat hamayim yochiach. The water is going to prove it. What happened? The water started going backwards, downstream. Imagine the water goes downstream, it starts going upstream. Impossible. The water went upstream. He said, we don't want to lie up in the water. Don't give me that proof.
This is another big rabbi saying I don't like this proof.
This is Rabbi Yehoshua telling Rabbi Yehuda, we don't hold from the water. Listen to the story, you'll see the deepness of it. We don't hold from the water. So okay, you don't hold from the water, fine. I'll bring you another proof. Amalem, im kamoti, if halacha is like me, kotle bet hamikdash shochichu. If the halacha is like me, let the walls prove it. The walls started caving in. Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi started yelling at the walls. What are you getting a vow for? What are you getting a vow for? Tanaim. Tanaim.
Kidding me? He sees all these things. He doesn't believe it.
Listen. Listen. Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi says to the walls, what are you getting a vow for? Tanaim or machloket? You're getting a vow? Says that at that moment the walls stopped. They didn't cave in all the way because Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi told them to stop. But they didn't go back because Rabbi Yehoshua told them to come down. So they stood there the whole time. It says later on that the Beit Mikdash always had a triangle shape. It stood there, out of pachad from the Tanaim.
Wow.
At that moment, Rabbi Yehoshua says, "We don't listen to the walls." Okay, you don't listen to the walls. What does it say? Amar lehem im halacha kamoti min hashamayim yochiach. Let Hashem prove it. Let Hashem prove if it's really halacha like me or not. That's the end of it. If Hashem proves it, that's it. No one's gonna complain, right? Yetza bat kol v'shamayim ve'amra ma lachem etz Rabbi Eliezer shehalacha kemako b'chol davar. What are you arguing with Rabbi Eliezer for? Halacha is like him in every halacha. In every halacha in the whole Torah, halacha is like him.
Legend.
What does Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi says? Lo b'shamayim.
This guy's stubborn.
Lo b'shamayim.
That's
The
enough.
Torah was
That's
given to
enough.
us.
Come on, you have to let
The
Hashem-
Torah was given to Bnei Yisrael. It wasn't given to the Malachim. I don't care what the angels say. The angels come and the Bat Kol kids. Even Hashem says, "Halachat like Eliezer." We don't hold like the Shemayim. We have a Torah in our people, within ourselves. We decide halacha, not the Shemayim. And at that moment, halacha was Rabbi Yehoshua, not Rabbi Eliezer,
Wow.
because they posek what we say, not what Shemayim says.
Wow.
Rabbis have Torah. These days we have a Torah. Rabbis have possibility to change nature. Tree moves, water moves, the walls move. Bat Kol comes out from Shemayim. Rabbis have that power.
That's not right. It's clearly the way he said it, and then now there's other guys disproving him.
Once the Gemara was given to us, we decide what the halacha is, not Hashem. And Hashem proves that by this story. When they ask him what was happening when they asked Rabbi Navi, at that moment when they had a machloket, Hashem, what was he doing? It says, "Tzchuli banai." He was smiling and said, "My children are doing what they want." Meaning he was happy at that moment because they were at machloket Shem Shemayim. They're learning Torah. It's not like what we think it was. But by the way, the rabbis have a power to change. You know how? It says that when a woman loses her bitulim before 3 years old.
What's Bitulim?
Bitulim is virginity. If she by accident falls off a horse or she gets hit by whatever, a tree, and she loses her virginity.
Oh, is that considered that if they fall off the horse?
Yeah, I know. So if you lose bitulim, meaning if you hit the
Really?
spot, you lose it.
The hind
Fall off a horse, you get hit by a tree, whatever it is.
You're not supposed, is a girl not allowed to get on a horse for that reason?
No, it's fine.
Just whatever, just a capability. It says that if it happens to a woman that she loses her bitulim before 3 years old, it goes back. Okay. Now what happens if it's the 4th year? That's it. She's not virgin anymore forever. She loses it.
Not virgin anymore?
Meaning she lost bitulim.
Virgin?
Bitulim.
Her price when she gets married, she's not bitul. She's not bitulah. She's damaged.
She won't believe.
She's damaged. She won't believe.
Damaged.
What happens?
Is that
If there's a
damaged, by the way? Is
Listen to
that,
this.
Is that damaged?
Oh, it happens anyway.
Listen to this amazing thing. What happens if it's a Shana Mu'beret? What happens if it's a leap year?
What?
You hear? What happens if it's a leap
What was
year?
the teacher's name in magazine?
Okay.
Hey, Charles, go. I want to hear
Stone?
There's
Wait, sorry, we want to take like
What does that have to do with
sorry.
anything?
Yeah, it's
Sorry,
still
you
four.
gotta-
What's he
you
doing?
gotta
Is it-
get
Still
back.
4 or 3.
He said, what if it's on a leap year?
There's 3 years. If it happens before
It's
3
not
years,
still 1. She's
if
4.
it happens before 3 years are done,
Right, you get a
it
reason.
goes back.
Yeah.
Nature says it goes back. Nature. If it's the 4th year, it's done. You never can go back.
Still
Testing
four.
it out.
So you're saying she gets 37 months.
What happens
Right.
if it's a leap year?
That's not a sign.
What do you
That's
mean?
not
This
Listen
is
to me.
science.
Let him speak. Let him
You're
speak.
not hearing the answer.
Go
You're not
ahead,
hearing what I'm
sorry,
saying.
sorry.
If it's a leap year, what happens? That means that year, instead of having a normal year of 11 months and whatever 28 days, they add a month. So it's 11 months
Charles, do the math. It's 3 years.
and a month.
But it's not really end a month because each month in the Hebrew calendar isn't as many days.
So they add a month.
Correct. So it's still 3 years.
No. Who adds the month?
It's still 1,050 days.
I'm trying to explain to you. Who adds the month? The Torah doesn't say anywhere in Torah to add a month. It's not a halakha. It's not a mitzvah to add a month. Who added the month? The rabbis. They added the month. It says if they add a month and that year choose to be Bitulim in that month, it grows back.
So meaning the rabbi.
That means
It's the
it
same time
really is
period.
the
What he's
fourth
trying
year.
to say
Right.
is that the rabbi's decision changed nature.
Is it proven?
Proven.
Follow?
Torah says that.
If the rabbis didn't decide to add a month for the
Where's
leap
that
year,
test up
Gemara
there?
says that.
it would end at
Proven
the
in
36 end of the 36 month.
I'm not going to bring the proof.
Because the rabbis added a leap year, not God. The rabbis added something that
Again, how many
changed
proofs
the
are there?
way.
It's not me. If I say something, it's not me. The Gemara says
Nice,
this.
nice.
Leap year in the Gemara?
Nice. That's a good interpretation.
There's
I
leap,
like
of
the way you
course.
explain
And I'm
that.
gonna get it.
This year is actually. That's why.
This year was a leap year.
Yeah,
We had the
I think I just
The leap year wasn't something that was just named
All
Torah.
about it.
Isn't it just to make sure the Pesach comes out in spring for that purpose?
I think so. Yeah.
There's a reason for that though.
Oh.
Because at the time they didn't know when Rosh Chodesh was.
I would turn off
That
the
whole
recorder
thing.
for this question, but is that where Yeshu got all these powers from? Because he
No.
no.
This was a Tana. I told you. This was a Tana. Tanas have these powers. Unfortunately, if you take it the wrong way, you go out with it. But he was a Tana.
They knew the names
Why?
of
Why'd they
God.
say you could walk on water and do all these
I'm
things?
explaining to you.
Is
A
that-
Tana.
Yeshu knew
What is a
that, or
Tana?
Tana?
A Tana has minimum capabilities of what?
Oh, we believe that he walked on water?
Everything.
Yeah,
We believe that Yeshua walked on water?
There's not sech about it. The whole thing. The whole story. It's
He
not
knew all the
so much
Shemot
thing.
of
Really?
It's
Yeah,
Hashem's
and I
name
heard
on
he
his
put it in
arm.
his leg or
He
something.
wrote him on cloth.
He wrote his clap on his name. Again, this
cut
is
open
a
his
Tana.
arm.
It's not regular people.
And he put all the names
In the
of God.
inside of his arm?
She was using the covenant of Hashem.
Hashem, but it's like
To
black
do-
magic.
Ah.
Black magic exists.
No, just-
Anyone that's reading the Gemara is a Tana. Whoever has a capability of a Tana
Big
is,
spoon the whole time.
has
So he just used all that stuff that Della had and just you turned it against.
same period.
He used the self
They
stuff.
basically used it
So that's
for
self-pay.
alternate
They both have the
purposes
same
besides Torah.
Right.
Yeah.
So basically, the whole question I'm trying to prove to you that the rabbis were given the Torah. Moshe gave the Torah to his rabbis, and they continued, and we had the power to change nature. The reason why I brought you the thing of the leap year was to show you that it wasn't a month that was added from the way it was. They added a month. It's really the fourth year, but they added a month, and that woman still gets her bitulim back, and that prove it because it's like Gemara. It says
Is that accurate
happened.
with the whole math thing? It is extra time?
anything you want to ask me.
Yeah,
it's-
yeah. It has nothing to do with what he's saying. What he's saying is,
They
humans
I'm clear.
added, did something,
nature.
and because of what humans did, it changed the way
So
nature
basically,
reacted.
like
So
if
more days.
Moshe and Aaron didn't walk into the Yam Suf, it wouldn't have split.
No, they wouldn't have.
We spoke about this 2 weeks ago.
That's,
It split because we saw I don't know Yosef. So Yosef and
But in that case, they
didn't split
Moshe
Moshe.
that changed nature.
And
someone go up to his neck. What's his name?
Nachshon.
Walked up to his neck.
And the
yeah.
answer to all of this is Pashut. The reason why the calendar is so messed up, you know why? Do you know why we have leap
Yeshua was
years?
the son.
Do you know why we have leap years? Who changed the sun? Who changed nature? Yeshua ben Nun. He held the sun.
13 days or something? What
How are you gonna ask about that now? He held the sun, and
It's like a-
for that holding the sun, he changed.
calendars are from English calendars because
For that changing the sun,
they go by
he
the moon.
messed up the
They go
calendar.
by moon,
God
not by
killed
sun.
both of them.
That's why you have leap years. That's why you have Rosh Chodesh. That's why you have 2 Rosh Chodesh, 1 Rosh Chodesh. Because they needed the war to win. If the sun was holding up for a certain time,
Okay,
that's why you have a leap year. Because the calendars are all messed up. They don't know when the holidays are. Because the sun was held that day. So everything was taken care of.
So basically, it's
Yeshua
really
prepared
saying
to
that
put
Torah is
13
more
days and
important
some
than
stayed
nature and
there.
anything else around.
Torah is above nature. We have the power to change
everything.
nature. We can become an angel, and when we learn
Hashem
Torah,
gave us the Torah.
we have the power. We'll just finish the place off. Guys, Shavuot night is a very holy night. And it says by Har Sinai, the class is finished, but it says by Har Sinai, at that moment, everyone was healed from sicknesses. Everyone was healed. What's the proof of that? It says everyone heard Har Sinai, right? Everyone heard. That means that there was no one that was deaf, right? Everyone saw. It means there was no one that was blind. So it means that what? Everyone was healed. Everyone that was sick was healed at the time. Shavuot night, when we pray and learn all night, we have the same capability to heal the sick. Whoever we learn and we pray that night, we should be mechaven, we should think about all the people that are sick, that aren't feeling good. We could change, we could really heal the sick with that night. It's a very holy night, we should take advantage of it. And
That's why we learn all night?
no, we learn night because we spoke about 2 things. One night was we spoke because the rabbis at that time in Spa, with Rabbi Karo and the story with the Malach, they learned all night and the Malach came to them and told them you guys are doing good and everything like that.
Okay.
And the second reason is because when Matan Torah came, Bnei Yisrael was sleeping. They were
What?
sleeping.
Yes.
Now look at Bnei Israel were sleeping at a time, and Moshe had to wake them up. And for that fact that they were sleeping, we stayed up all night, and we rectified the sin. But bottom line, Leil Shavuot is a very holy night. We have a lot of capability to do it, and we should be thinking about the sick people, and we can really be able to heal them with that night, because that's the same night as Matan Torah.
So one more question before you finish. Sorry.
We're gonna be for a Shavuot.
I don't know, let's make it class if we could.
Hold
if
on
we
one
can.
second. Why don't we wash our hands before Minyan? What's the actual reason?
Before what?
Minyan. We don't wash our hands on Shavuot. Something in washing your hands, right?
That's when we wake up.